Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this video on solving linear equations. I'm going to go through and solve the entire day's work in one run through. If you need to, skip to where I'm answering the question to get your answer. As you're going through, I'm of course expecting you to show full working. You don't have to do it on this paper, you can do it on sheets of paper, or you can do it verbally, but I do need to see your thinking. Alright, here, we remember that 8 is connected to the x with a times. We need to do the opposite of that times. We need to break that, multiply all that times, and divide by -8. Divide by -8. And then what we have is the x on its own. 48 divided by 8 is 6. Negative, -6. Over here, we add 15. Add 15 to both sides. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. X equal to 36. Over here, we have two options. Either ditch the 7 first or the 5 first. And remember, the best way to go about these is to think about x as the middle of a present. And there's all these layers of wrapping around that middle of the present, and you want to start from the outside and wrap in towards the x, or unwrap in towards the x. So of these two layers, 7 looks like it's the outer wrapping layer, so that's the one we get rid of first. -7 minus 7, leaving us with x on 5 equals 4. Now that on sign, remember, is a divide, so we undo it with a multiply. X equals 20. Alright, same again, we're unwrapping in towards the x, so ditching the 7 first. Take 7, take 7. 6x equals -27. So -20 takes 7, takes you down to -27. Divide 6, divide 6. So over 6, over 6. X equals -27 over 6. Now, we want to write this as simple as possible. The number that can go into both top and bottom here is 3. So if we divide the top by 3, we get 9. If we divide the bottom by 3, we get 2. That's a terrible 2. The negative stays there. You could go on and write it as 4.5, but x equals -9 on 2 is just fine. Alright, next one. Same again. Starting from the number furthest away from x, so getting rid of that 9. Take 9, take 9. X on 7 equals 3. Times 3, times 3. X equals 21. Take 7, take 7. Minus 3x equals 7. Divide by -3. Divide by -3. X equals 7 on -3. More traditionally, we either leave the negative at the front or we give the negative to the top. But all of those answers are correct, and none can be simplified unless you want to write it as a mixed number. Scrolling down. Subtract 17, subtract 17. 4x equals -733 takes 17, dropping again takes us to -50. Divide 4, divide 4. X equals -50 on 4, which is the same as -25 on 2. And that's about as far as we can go. Alright, our first 3-step one. Here, we think about each fraction as the top and bottom are in brackets. That means the 3x and the -4 are wrapped up pretty closely because they're in brackets up the top. The 2 is the furthest one away. So we're going to deal with this. Once that goes, we'll deal with the 4, then the 3. So, getting rid of the 2 first, we multiply by 2, multiply by 2, leaving us with 3x take 4 equals -18. Then, get rid of that 4, plus 4, plus 4. 3x equals minus 14, because minus 18 plus 4, we're back up to minus 14. Then divide 3. Divide 3. X equals minus 14 on 3, and that's as far as we can go. Alright, two options here. Either we can ditch that 7, or we can expand the brackets, simplify, and then get rid of it. Both ways work. Typically, if I see brackets, I think it's a good idea to expand them. It works every time, whereas ditching the 7 at the front only works some of the time. It would work here because 49 is a factor of 7, a multiple of 7. So multiplying that 7 in, we have 21x take 35 equals 49. Then we're going to add 35. Add 35. 21x equals 84. Divided by 21, divided by 21. I reckon 21 goes into 84 perfectly, which is really nice, and therefore x equals 4. Alrighty, when we have multiple x's, it's hard to use our present analogy to unwrap towards them. So our first aim of the game is to create just one x, and then unwrap it. So we expand, simplify, and get all the x's on one side, so we're looking at just one x. That's the plan here. We are expanding. 2 take 6x equals 2x plus 10. Then getting everything on one side. Now, it doesn't really matter which side it is. By convention, we go to the right. No, by convention, we go to the left, this side here. But what I'm going to do is add 6x to both sides. The reason I'm doing it is because that keeps everything in positive numbers. And positive numbers are just easier to work with. 2 equals 8x plus 10. Alright, we are going to hit a negative. Now we've got x by itself. We're going to unwrap it. So get it by itself entirely. We're moving the 10 and the 8. So take 10. Take 10. 2 take 10 is negative 8 equals 8x. Divide by 8, divide by 8. Negate divided by 8 is minus 1, and that's the answer for x. If you want to be fancy, you can write x equals minus 1, but really you could leave it that line above and that would be fine. Alright. This one's harder. But a good way to think about it is to think about that as over 1. If that's over 1, we can start treating it like a fraction. And you might remember that with a fraction, if you have a half, that's the same as 3 on 6 or 12 on 24. All we're doing is we're multiplying the top and bottom by the same number. If we multiply the top and bottom by the same, we don't change the fraction. It's a neat trick we can do. We can multiply top and bottom by the same as many times as we want, and we don't actually change anything. So here, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 3. And you'll see why in a second. 6x over 3 take x over 3 equals 5. The reason I did by 3 is to set up this common denominator. Those 3's on the bottom then allow us to do this subtraction. 6x take x is 5x over 3 equals 5. And then life gets easier. Times 3. Times 3. 5x equals 15. Divide 5. Divide 5. X equals 3. And there we are. Alright, word problems. Everybody's favourite. Everybody's favourite. I'm thinking of two numbers. One of them is 24 more than the other, and their sum is 129. What are the two numbers? Alright, so I would say let the lower number bx. Whoops. My OneNote just froze. Give me a second. Alright, we're back in the game. Let the lower number be x. Excuse my handwriting. Therefore, if we're told this line here, that means that one number is 23 more than the other. Therefore, the second number is x plus 23. And then what they're asking is their sum of 129. So, well, what they're asking is what are the numbers, but the other bit of information is their sum is 129, and that leads us to being able to add the two numbers together. Our first number and our second number is 129. And you might have noticed that without really thinking, I did the steps of graphs. Okay, what information have we given? And therefore, what does that tell us? What are required? And then algebra into solve. It's not always algebra, but in this case, given it's a linear algebra sheet, it's probably algebra. Alright, so here, simplifying the x's. 2x plus 23 equals 129. Then subtract 23. Two x is 106. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. X equals 53. So that, remember, is the first number. Lastly, we have to answer some sort of sentence. So what are the numbers? The numbers are 53 and 23 more than 53, so 76. Alright, question 6. Length of a rectangle is 4 centimeters greater than its width, and its perimeter is 56. Find the length of a rectangle. Hint, draw a diagram. Alright, let's start off with a diagram. Let's see what information we're given. We're given that it's 4 centimeters greater than its width. So we don't know the length or width, but I'm just going to make the width x. If the length is 4 centimeters greater, we're given that x plus 4 is that. We're also given the perimeter is 56. So we know that if we add up all of these sides, we're going to get 56. And what's required is find the length of the rectangle. So we have to remember at the end, we're going to have to give that answer there. Alright, so if we add all of these, x plus 4 plus x plus 4 equals 56. Wrote that the wrong way around. Alright, I wrote out 4 x's there. And 8 equals 50. Jumping ahead, I almost wrote 48 because that's where we're going. 56. Then, take 8, take 8. 4x equals, there's our 48. Divide 4, divide 4. X is equal to 12. So that means this side here is 12. But that's not what the question's asking. We want to find the length. And that's why drawing the diagram is really helpful. So, by convention, width is the shorter, length is the longer. So the length of the rectangle here, the length is 16 centimeters. Okay, 2 more. Orange costs 8 cents more than an apple. If I buy 7 apples and 8 oranges, find the cost of 1 apple. Alright, when it says find the cost of 1 apple, that's a pretty good chance that you're just going to let x equal cost of 1 apple. And now the good news is if we find x, we also get the cost of that 1 apple. So, I know that oranges are 8 cents more than an apple. So therefore, oranges equal x plus 8. Okay, I've also been given this piece of information here, where if I buy 7 apples and 8 oranges, the total is 364 cents. Now I've done quite a lot in there. I've recognised that it's apples I've called x, oranges are x plus 8. Importantly, there needs to be brackets around them. That bracket there is important for maintaining the entire thing, for maintaining or allowing this 8 to then go in there, which it will do next. And then I change the dollars, $3.64, to 364 cents, because that 8 there was cents, so the whole thing has to be in cents. So I'm going to convert the dollars to cents for this whole thing to work. 7x plus 8x plus 64 equals 364. 15x, collecting like terms. Then we go to solving. Take 64, take 64. This is going to work out beautifully. Almost like someone planned it. 15x equals 300. 15's into 300. Well, 15's into 30 is 2. 15's into 300 is 20. So when we divide by 15, divide by 15, x equals 20. And what that tells us is the cost of an apple. So therefore, 1 apple costs 20 cents. Nice. Alright, last one. If anything, this is less of a worded problem than the others. Find the value of x by first setting up an equation. Hint, the degrees in the triangle sum to the value of 180. So x degrees, 2x take 15, and x plus 35 sum, meaning add, to 180. Collect like terms. 4x plus 20 equals 180. Solve. Take 20. Take 20. 4x equals 160. X equals 40. However, here's the trap. Lots of students... Actually, no. There's no trap. Ignore me. I was thinking of a different question. Find the value of x. There it is. That's all we've been asked for. I thought the question was going to ask, find the angles inside the triangle. And lots of people just stop at x equals 40, whereas really, you need to say, well, this one's 40, this one's 75, and this one is 65. And you do that by putting x into all of them. But you don't actually need to here. It's great. All we have to do is find x. Sorry about that last one. Alright, hope those answers helped you.